everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie, and this is going to be the Books and Bakes book tag that was created by India. Okay, as you guys can see, I am set up just a little bit different this week for this video, period. And it's because of what this video is. So India created this original book tag talking about baked goods and fun things like that. So I thought I would take it into a different level and sort of do my own take on it or spin using her questions, but actually baking something while I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm baking Nestle Toll House brownies and more with Butterfingers. So I figured I would bake those while I talk to you guys about these books and things like that. So I hope you guys like this. Please let me know down in the comment section if you do like this sort of segment reimagining of a book tag, and I will try and do more. But let's get to the questions while I bake and things like that. So the first thing that I'm going to do, of course, is to preheat my oven to 325. So let's get that to it. So while that's preheating, I can sit here and chat with you guys and talk about these questions. I have all of my stuff laid out here. I like to use a pan with parchment paper in there, so, you know, to keep that going. I'm just oh my goodness. I'm so out of sorts. I thought this was going to be a good idea, but then as I'm doing it now, it doesn't seem to be falling into place as much as I thought it would be. But we will see how this turns out. I did set up the questions and stuff like that, so I'm excited about that. Alrighty. So first question, or first prompt, even though I'm making a whole bunch of noise. First prompt is Cupcakes. Name a collection of short stories, poems, or anthology where you could not just read one section and had to go back for another section of that anthology. And I will have to go with Well Read Black Girl by Gloria Edom. I listened to that on audiobook, and I absolutely loved all the stories in there. This book, or this anthology of short stories, are all written by Black women through their things that inspired them and how they became who they were. And I really, really enjoyed that. And I couldn't put it down. I listened to it in like 2 sessions, I think it was, and, you know, went from there. Oh gosh. Question number 2 is Lemon Pound Cake. It's a classic, and it's a classic and staple in some people's homes. Not really mine. My family doesn't really like sweets, so I will probably be eating all of these brownies, especially since there's Butterfingers in them. My boys kind of like Reese's, and they're real picky when it comes to their candies and things like that. So these will probably be all mine. I will probably eat all of them. And things like that. So, Lemon Pound Cake. Name a classic that has over 400 pages that you think will become a classic. And I actually have a couple books for this. And to start it off, I'm going to talk about the Consequences series by Alethea Romig. This series, this first book in the series, is a psychological thriller, and there are some hard moments in it. It's crazy. I think it's going to be a classic. It's what started me on my love for psychological dark romances and things like that. And I just really, really loved it. Of course, it doesn't have a hat cup on there. Doo-doo. And I would also like to talk about Long Shot, Hook Shot, Block Shot by Kennedy Ryan. All three of those books, I actually said them out of order, but you'll be seeing them in order on the screen. Those books right there are a hard, realistic look at some things that are very, very controversial and very hard-hitting and realistic, and Kennedy does an amazing job at writing those books. Long Shot actually is the winner of the 2019 Rita, and she made history with that book by being the first Black author to win a Rita in the 37-year history of that program, and we're so proud of her on it and loved it so very much. And I just really, really liked that book. They are very hard-hitting, and I think more people need to read them and absorb them, become part of that movement, sort of empathize and things like that. So question number 3 is Red Velvet Cake. Name a book that I bought that I thought was one thing, but ended up being something completely different. And I have a couple books for this one as well. And that is, the first one I'm going to talk about is The Assistant. The first book I'm going to talk about is The Assistant by Marnie Mann. This is a very, very intriguing book because you really don't know what's going on throughout the story until the ending. And even with the ending, I had to read it a couple times to figure out what was going on. And I still don't know what's going on with it. So, yeah. That one definitely looks like one thing, but is completely different. And the second one that I'm going to talk about completely surprised me was The Headmaster by Tiffany Reese. And that has you thinking one thing throughout most of the story, and then there's something else that happens. It depends on where you find this book. If you find it in certain categories, then you're going to know or try and expect some of the things that are going to go on with it, but I didn't really pay any attention to it. I went to that book thinking I'm going to get a Tiffany Reese book, and oh, did I get a Tiffany Reese book. And now I completely understand what she was talking about when I listened to her at a Polycon, when she talked about how she likes to really cross subgenres upon subgenres upon subgenres, and that book definitely does just that. Question or prompt number 4 is Chocolate Chip Cookie Dough. Name a book or book series that I will read over and over again, and I know that it's bad for me, so I know you guys are going to come for me, and I'm breaking my own little rule here by going with a book that I have not read this year yet, but I have watched the movies, and that is 50 Shades Trilogy by E.L. James. Y'all can come for me all you want. It's going to be a classic and staple within my reading repertoire because I absolutely love that story, and I love Anna and Christian and their journey and everything like that. So you guys can come for me all you want. I don't really care, but I will read that one over and over again. I will never listen to the audiobook though. That I won't do. That audiobook is absolutely, I do not like that narrator's voice at all. It definitely makes Anna whiny. Like, people complain about her being whiny. The audiobook narrator brings that across, and that's just horrible. I think that's bleh. I don't think she's whiny at all. I think she empowers herself later on in the series. Question number 5 is Apple Pie a la Mode. Name a book that was really good, but could have been just a little bit more. And I'm going to go with The Locker Room by Megan Quinn. And the only reason I say that is because about 80% into the book, I wanted to throw my Kindle as I was reading it. I was very upset with some of the choices that were made and things that ended up happening, and I was just not happy with it. I did end up liking the book and loving the book in the end, but those few things that threw me off really threw me off. Question number 6 is a two-parter, and it's about something that I don't particularly care for, which is a gingerbread. And the first one is, if you like the gingerbread cookie to be soft, name a book that was squishy in the middle, but the beginning was strong and the end was strong. And I'm going to go with Finding Home Again by Brenda Jackson. I really was waiting for this book for this couple and really wanted to know more about them. And I was super happy to get them. However, that middle part of their story was just like, okay, I'm going to need y'all to buck up. Put your adult selves on and, you know, really get into it, because this is just nonsense. Y'all's miscommunication just isn't working for me. So, yeah, that one was, that's it for me on that one. Let's see. So second part to that one is Gingerbread Crunchy. And that is more like a ginger snap, I guess. That's what my boys like. They like the ginger snap. I mean, even like down to the dog likes ginger snap type things going on. So that is to name a book that I finished, but didn't want to, and wanted to throw it against the wall and snap and just like throw, just not be happy about it. And I have to say that is Faker by Sarah Smith. That book drove me up a wall. I'm do a rant about it in the video that I reviewed for it, and yeah, just could not. Was so mad about it. Just angry. Very, very angry about it. Ooh. Oh, question number 7 is another two-parter, and that is brownies. Kind of like what I'm making. And am I a corner piece? If I'm a corner piece, then name a book that starts off strong but then falls apart. And I'm going to have to go with Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory. This book had such a good premise of a mature, older woman going on a holiday to England and meeting someone special. And then, you know, having a holiday fling. But then we wanted to like try and add in some forever shit and some crazy, stupid sex. It was just horrible. So mad. So mad at that one. Question number 7, part 2 is if you're a middle piece, name a book that kept me in the feels the entire time, and I'd have to go with Between Now and Forever by Dylan Allen. And I went with that one because I've been looking for that story, wanting that story. I got that story. I can't wait for the other 2 books in this series to come out so I can get the rest of their story. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Just so amazing. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Question number 8 is birthday cake. Name a book series or an author that you feel keeps coming out with a book, short story, or novella every single year. And I got to give props to Kennedy Ryan and Alethea Romig, because both of them, I really like stalk them to get their books because they are phenomenal. They continue to give me something new every single time that they write a book. It's always something different, and I love the 2 of them so very much. They are authors that I will drop everything for. I could be in the middle of a book, and I get an arc from them, and I'm dropping it. I'm putting down whatever I'm reading, and I will read their arc like right away. Right away. Carrot Cake is a book that sounds healthy for you, but it's very unhealthy. Turns out it could be triggering. It could be, you know, just not very conducive and can put you into a reading slump. Now, reading slumps and I don't really happen because I can see a reading slump coming and I will change up my reading, the books that I'm currently reading or whatever, so that I don't get into a slump. And for that one, I went with Heroine by Mindy McGinnis, because that book definitely has the promise or the possibility of putting someone into a reading slump. It is a hard-hitting YA story about heroin and drug use, and yeah, so that could definitely put someone into a reading slump. Alrighty, we're almost done here. And question number 10 or prompt number 10 is to tag some people for some book goods and things like that. So I would love to see how Bree from Bree Hill does her take on this baking book tag, because her vlogs have been off the chain. I am loving her putting recipes and things like that, her daily life into her vlogs. And if she could incorporate this tag into something that she's doing, that would be amazing. Bree, I'm talking to you. I also would love to give a shout out to Shay from Books with Shay. I'm loving her Spookathon vlogs right now and would love to see her do a take on this book tag as well. And the Reading Outlaw Chelsea. Chelsea, I'm loving your vlogs as well. And she has a very completely different reading style and reading taste than I do. And I love listening to her talk about the different books that she talks about. I get so many recommendations from her, and I just really, really enjoy the things that she's putting out. So let me know if you have read any of the books that I talked about, if you like some of the same things. If you're going to do this video or do a take on this tag, make sure you shout out India, because she put a lot of work into it and I loved it. It was so much fun. I hope you guys liked my take on it. Let me know down in the comments if you do. Just say, hey, I'm going to do this video, or hey, I did this video. Please check out my channel. Not check out my channel. Don't do that. Because that'll get flagged and it'll get spammed, and then I won't be able to see your comment. And just say, you know, that you're going to do this video or that you did the video. I guess that's it. So, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.